This is Mark Anthony with Mercury Time Price Analytics, and welcome to our daily algorithmic trading update video for ESNQ bonds and crude oil. So let's start with ES. The reason that we're getting this topping formation is also the reason we got this fast move last night. At the end of the day, we run our algorithm at the end of RTH, and it produces what we call Mercury bands. And Mercury bands will give us 3 or 4 upper extensions, which are supposed to be above that day's trading range. Well, what we're getting here, and these are the updated Mercury bands for tonight. When we run this algo, these Mercury bands apply all throughout Globex that evening and all throughout the day session the next day. Well, notice that upper extension number 1 is not up here above where ES traded today. It's down here 33.11. Last night, upper extension number 1 was at 33.23. And so a couple hours into Globex, around 8 o'clock Eastern time, you had this move where it broke what was last night's Mercury band upper extension number 1, which was up here at 33.23, and you had this action. And the reason that you get that is because the market is so overbought. Some of these upper extensions are not above price anymore. They're down here. Now, the other thing that the Mercury bands do is they give this body of pivots. Now, you've got a short cycle and a long cycle. Even the short cycle is many days. The long cycle is substantially longer. But if you think of the metaphor of Bollinger Bands, where you've got an upper band, a lower band, and a mid band, it's the same sort of metaphor. You've got an upper level, a lower level, and it's not we call it a level, not a band, because it doesn't weave in and out like the upper band and lower band do with Bollinger Bands. These are all fixed points. So you have an upper level, a lower level, and 2 mid bands. And so that gives you 8 pivots that are in the body of the trading range. But the point is this: the upper extensions, when we calculate these at the end of each RTH session, the upper extensions are supposed to be above. And so price has gotten so far ahead, and this has only happened a couple of times before. I mean, we are historically overbought right now. That doesn't mean that ES can't go higher. It just means that ES needs a little bit of a correction at the very least to rectify this problem where price is so extended that you're getting upper extensions that are below where it traded for most of the day today. And so when you have that type of anomaly, then these corrections are quick and they're fast. Now, why did this stop down in here? Well, I'm going to flip over to ES with, and actually I'm going to go over here to the flexible grid because I've already got the swing trading algo here. Notice this cyan or blue line, whatever you want to call it. This is an algorithmic time price regression line. This goes all the way back to June of 2019. Now, some people will draw envelope channels. You'll have an upper channel, a lower channel. But algorithmic time price regression lines cut right through price. And anytime price interacts with it, you get this type of action. To give you an idea what I mean, this algorithmic regression line was put on the chart January 9th, which was the day before the non-farm payroll report. And if we go back to that day, I can show you exactly where it's put on the chart. It was put on right here. And at the time that I put this on the chart, and again, this goes all the way back to June of last year, you had the regression line right here. ES was trading a little bit below it. Now, what you see when ES or any other instrument comes in contact with these regression lines is you get this battle back and forth, same thing here and here, and then after a time it releases, you get this blow off move, and then it will be magnetized back to it again. So let me zoom this in a little bit and scroll back, and I'll show you that price friction, the battle up and down with these regression lines. So here you have the night that this was first put on here. And you get this up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, this is a long cycle. This is a swing trading algo. On our day trading algo, over the couple of days after I put this regression line on here, you literally had over 30 times where price went above, below, above, below. So you get this in here, and if we pull this forward just a little bit more, you see the same thing here. And if we pull it forward a little bit more, you get it here. Now, after all that is resolved, then you get this blow-off move, and that's what happens with regression lines. They release. And the problem is after they release, you get a blow-off move. Now, I'm not saying that this is the all-time high or even a significant high. ES can certainly go much higher. But the point is, when you get these types of releases from a regression line, price gets extremely overextended, and that's what gives you the situation where you've got upper extensions that are now printing underneath where ES ended the day. And when price releases like this, it will be magnetized very, very strongly back to these regression lines. So if we pull this all the way forward, I did not want to open up the calendar, so forgive me. I'm a one-take kind of guy. If there's a few little bits of silliness there, that comes with the program. There's no charge. So where did this come back to last night? It came right back into the algo regression line. So when price broke here at 33.23, we knew it was going to come down into this 33.11. Now the beauty of our system, taking a look at our day trading chart, all these horizontal lines are algorithmic pivots. We never put hand-drawn pivots on the chart. We don't look at the technical formation and say, well, this looks like a support area, this looks like a resistance area. These are all algorithmic pivots. Let me go back here for a minute, and I'm going to pull this chart back out so you can see where the algorithm is pulling these from. And let's just take this for example, the Mercury band long cycle mid-band number 2. It's cutting right through this area. So what these pivots do is they identify either support or resistance, or they bisect right through price congestion zones. And so what you've got, as a matter of fact, let's take a look at this band right here. This price had been resistance. It comes up and breaks through and turns it from resistance into support, and the algorithm picks that up, as it does this Mercury band right here, as it does with this, and this is lower extension right through here and here and here. So the mathematical algorithm finds these support and resistance zones, and that's why price gets magnetized back to these with such amazing precision. Back to the regression line. When this broke last night, our traders don't have to guess where to take profits, because as price comes down into these pivots, you've got, in the case of last night, this video is being recorded January 21st, but in the case of last night, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 algos at which to decide where you want to take partial profits. So let's say you're trading a 3 lot. You could have taken part of it here, and then you know that it's coming back into this regression line. And at that point, we told our subscribers, this is likely going to be it for tonight. And it was, but not without a battle. And then you get this. And to zoom in on the trading signals for the last couple of days, I'm going to go over here to our March contract. And what we do on our live chart for our subscribers, we've got the ES continuous contract on one side that shows you the swing trading algo. And we have the March contract over here on the other side, which shows the day trading algo. The day trading algo has pivots that are called dynamic pivots because they have specific names. The trend confirmation pivots, do what you would imagine. They confirm whether the trend is continuing or breaking. Price acceleration pivots tend to accelerate price. But here in our day trading algo, taking this move from last night, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pivots that you could have picked from to take partial profits in that move. And so one of the things that used to drive me crazy as a trader is trying to figure out where to take profits. I mean, I was miserable in my early days as a trader. I've been doing this for over 30 years. But even when I had trades that were going the way I wanted them to, I would drive myself crazy trying to figure out where to take profits. You don't have to worry about that when you've got an algorithm. And in terms of the day trading algo, it was short up here, 3226-ish. Gave you the ability to take profits, and then it got long. And the fact that that long was a very brief time was one of the other indications that when those pivots there at 33.23 broke, we were going to get this. So it comes down into the algo regression line. It finds some support, and then the algo flipped long this morning, Tuesday morning, at about 6:36 Eastern time. Caught this entire move back up. Well, that's a pretty good couple of days. You get short at 33.23. You have multiple opportunities to take profits. And then the next morning you have this long, and the algo gave plenty of opportunities to get in if you weren't in front of your screen at 6:30. And then right at the end of the day, it flipped short again. So what our system does is it gives you the algorithm that indicates the long or short entries. And then more importantly, the risk management side of it is the algorithmic pivots that give you very precise levels at which to take profits. Notably, the swing trading algo has not triggered short yet. The day trading algo did. And so we'll have to see what happens here. But the great thing about our system is you've got a swing trading algo and a day trading algo side by side on a live chart. We run this through Zoom, so you can actually see price moving throughout the chart, interacting with these pivots in real time on your computer screen. So it takes the guesswork out of trading. Our company motto is very simple. No gimmicks, no guesswork, just math. When you have algorithms working in your favor, just like the institutions do, and this is institutional level algorithms, the only difference is that we provide this for individual traders, not to institutions. And I will put our algorithm up against any institutional algorithm, anytime, any place, anywhere. Let's switch over to bonds. And so here you have our bond algo. We have a little bit different methodology for the pivots. But you had a short that triggered in here. It came down and then triggered long. And then you had a short here, a long here. And I want to show you the precision of these pivots. Where did we get the high of the day in bonds? At upper extension number 3. So you don't have to guess with this. Now, we've got these thing called X5 pivots on bonds and crude oil. And this is one of the most accurate time cycle systems that you will ever see. And so as each of these X5 pivots, they're called X5 because there's 5 of them, and the way this works, every morning at 10 o'clock Eastern time, we generate a new X5 pivot, and then the ones from the previous day all move down 1. So yesterday's X5 becomes 4, 4 becomes 3, and so on, and then the X1 pivot drops off. And it doesn't matter whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. The time mechanic is the same. We put the 1 through 5 on here just so you know which ones are dropping off. But where did the long come from in bonds this morning? Right as bonds traded back up and through the X1 pivot. So where do you take profits? Well, bonds came up into our single daily algo pivot at 57.27. This single daily algo pivot is generated at 8 a.m. Eastern time. It's unbelievably accurate. This is the fulcrum price level for the entire day, and you can see that. So the long trigger down here at 57.13, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 opportunities to take profits if you're a bond trader. And the beauty of it is, I've got traders that are in bonds that were able to take off the last piece of their position, the runner, right here. You don't have to worry about trying to top tick or bottom tick the market, because you can literally do that when you have an algo that's this precise. I want you to take notice of this extension right here. Where did it stop? To the tick. When bonds came down, where did it stop? To the tick at the single daily bull bear pivot. Then it went back up literally to the tick again at the X3 pivot. And then it went up and stopped within a couple of ticks of the upper extension number 3. Now, because bonds trade in a narrower range in terms of the incremental movement each day, the Mercury bands only need to be calculated once a week. We do it on the weekend. So that's something else that proves how accurate our algo is. These moves to the tick to these Mercury bands, these were calculated over the weekend, and they apply all week long. So once again, you've got the algorithmic oscillator that points out the short and the long and the short and the long entries, and then you use the pivots to manage the trade. So if you're trading, for example, a 3 lot, you can take your first third off. Using this as an example, you could have taken your first third off here, taken your middle here or here or here, let the runner run, and then once it got up to the upper extension number 3, could it have gone higher? Of course, but that gives you an indication that it's getting a little stretched, at least for today. Now let's take a look at crude. For the longest time, I've had folks contact me asking when we were going to put out a crude algorithm. And I'll tell you, for the longest time, I didn't want to do it, because my thinking was, as volatile as crude is, there's not going to be any way that we're going to be able to come up with an algorithm that manages risk. Well, I was exactly wrong, and here's why. Our algorithms are built predominantly on time, not price. And so these jagged moves up and down with these long red candles and long green candles, the algo doesn't care until that trade is properly cooked from a time perspective, and then it gets short. So you had this move up here. The crude algo went long Friday afternoon at 3:30. And it was interesting because bonds did the same thing at the same time, went long at, if I said 3:30, I meant 3:12 Friday afternoon. Bonds and crude, same exact time, went long. And there was a Nigerian pipeline that exploded over the weekend, and that was where you got this gap from. Now, if you're just trading off the shelf technical indicators, or you're just eyeballing this, how do you know if this wide range red candle here or here or here is where you buy the pullback? You don't have to worry about with the algo, because it didn't trigger short until right here. So when you have the proper confluence of time and price, that's when it triggers short. So imagine trading crude and getting long here. It was right at 58.60. And catching this move on the Globex Open, and then getting a short here right around 59.18, and taking that short all the way down here. Would that be a nice trade? Now here too, our pivots help you manage the trade and lock in profits. So you could lock in part of your profit here at this X4 pivot, part of it here at this X5 pivot, at today's daily bull bear pivot, all the way down. Now, where did the system trigger long? After catching this move from right here, triggered long here. And you caught this whole move up. Again, if you're long here, if you're a scalper, sure, you could take partial profit back up into this pivot. But you had 1, 2, 3, 4, pardon me, 4 different pivots at which you could have taken partial profits or all of your profits. And then after being long here and short here and flipping back long here, and again, allowing multiple opportunities to take profit, the algo flipped short here. And we'll see what happens if we zoom in on it a little bit. The trade's working right now. Now, if price comes back up, it's going to flip long before this short gets taken out. And that's the way the system was designed. It's not going to get you short and then flip long up here after you're eating, 20, 30 cents. It goes long and then goes short higher. And when it's short, it stays short down into here, and it gets long, obviously much lower than where it got short. So the beauty of our system is you've got just a spot-on algorithm that indicates the long and short entries. And then you have the algorithmic time price pivots, which we call profit capture pivots, to not only manage the trade, but to lock in profits. And so that's going to wrap up today's update for ESNQ. By the way, I didn't show you NQ. Forgive me. Let me go over here and take a look at NQ. So what was the single daily bull bear pivot today in NQ? 91.69. Pretty spot on. Move above, below, above, below. NQ triggered long right in here, around 91.30. You got a 69.70 handle move up, and it's still long. It has not gotten out of this long yet, as we're trading a little bit higher, 4 handles higher in Globex off the RTH close. So there you've got a 70 handle move that would have given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opportunities to take profits. Now, where did it come down to? Is this accurate enough? To the tick? This X5 pivot was generated, the X5 is generated at 10 a.m. in the morning. And so here you have 4 hours later, NQ comes down to the tick. There is no other system that does this. And that's why when I say I will put our algo up against any system, institutional or otherwise, anytime, anywhere, it's because there is no other system that does this. Let's take a look at Apple. What was the bull bear pivot for Apple today? 317.11. Comes down, breaks it, tests it, fails, and closed RTH. Where's the RTH close? The RTH close was down in here. Now it's trading up a little bit. And so here too, if you like to trade Apple, here's your long. Here's where it flips short. Here's where it gets long again. Bull bear pivot for Microsoft. Right down to the bull bear pivot. So this was crazy closing bar, but right down to the bull bear pivot. And now it's trading up just a little bit. So whether you're an ES trader, an NQ trader, a bond trader, a crude trader, or you like to trade Apple, Microsoft, there is no system that is this accurate. We invite you to take a look at our website, which is mercurysignals.com. And on the website, we've got a number of different packages. We have a package for ES and NQ, and we've also got a package for bonds and crude oil, and we've also got a package for Bitcoin. All of these subscriptions give you a 7-day free trial, and then after that, we bill weekly, not monthly. The reason we do that is we want people to be able to stop their subscription anytime they want. Because number one, we feel that that is the right way to run a business. And number two, because we want to prove to you how accurate our systems are by allowing you to quit anytime you want. Yet at the same time, we give you a lifetime rate lock. So whatever the price is when you join, you have a lifetime rate lock. And right now we're running 63% off the regular rates. So you can stay a member as long as you want. It doesn't matter what the rates go to in the future. That rate is, pardon me, locked in for you as long as you want to keep it. So again, our website is mercurysignals.com. If you'd like to send me an email, it's markanthony@mercurysignals.com, markanthony@mercurysignals.com. So we certainly hope you'll take a visit to our website, try out one of our systems. I promise you, you will not find anything this accurate anywhere in the market, institutional or otherwise. We thank you so much for your time. God bless you. God bless your family. And we hope to see you back soon.